Hey guys, how's it going? Cryptic here. This is a game you may have not seen before. I certainly haven't uploaded this on my channel before. But this is Wizards101, or Wizard101, however you want to say it. So practically this game is where you are a wizard and you get spells and you have to defeat bosses and people in different worlds. Anyway, I have a walkthrough on this to showing you more about it. But this is on which school to choose. So if you're unfamiliar with the game, there will be a link in the description to download it. What happens is this the headmaster, and when you create a new character, he'll talk about he's found a new wizard who's going to be the hero of the savior. Now, there's two other things you can do. You can either skip the test, which I'll show you what happens when you do the test, or you can take the test. On my first character, I took the test and I got ice, and I was like, oh yay, I should be ice. Let me go do ice, and my ice character's now like level 71 or something. But after creating a couple of characters, I noticed a pattern. See, you can click, doesn't matter what I click here, I'm just clicking random things. Bang, bang. It's whichever one of these you choose is to which one you'll get. So Jade will be life, Ruby will be fire, Peridot, I think, will probably be balance, I want to say. Amethyst is storm. Actually, no, this is balance. That will be myth, storm, balance, and then death. So let's go Ruby. So look, fire, as I presumed. Now if we try again, I'll just do this the whole way. Now if we try this, myth, as I presumed. And I'll try one more, just so you think it could just be luck or something. I don't even know. But the only difference is sometimes he'll only give you a choice of them. But look, storm. So what I do, let me go back in. I don't actually take the test. If you click skip the test, you can choose which one you want. Now, this will be a bit of a review on which school you should choose, because I've spent 2 years on my ice character. Obviously, haven't been playing like 2 years straight. I've been playing here and there for 2 years or so, and I've sort of noticed that like there are certain times where I've not wanted to be an ice character, whether because ice isn't the strongest suit. So, first of all, we have Storm. Now, Storm Wizards, doesn't matter what it tells you once you click on it. Don't listen to whatever that says. Storm is a very strong school. Their spells do a lot of damage, as I'll show you when I show you some of the Storm spells. They do a crap ton of damage, but Storm characters do not have much health. So there is one way you can combat this. Once you get to level, say you had a level 30 Storm character, and you went to the gear shop called Bazaar, and you wanted to buy some equipment, then you'd just buy equipment that has more, gives you more health than more attack damage, so you could level out. But if you are Storm, you will faint quite often, so you'll have to, so pretty much you die and you have to start over again. That will happen quite often. But your attacks do a lot of damage. So in the start of the game, Storm's quite very powerful, because it's not much of a battle. So just you use one card, they use one card, and they die. But once you get up, you'll find it might become a bit harder. Obviously, if you're spending crowns, then you can get gear that gives you a lot of resist. So if you do want to spend a lot of crowns, then it can be useful. Or if you want to have life as your second school, and you can get a necklace or whatever it's called from the crown shop, which means you can use power pips on life, so that could be helpful to use healing spells. Second of all, we've got myth. So myth is the opposite to storm. So if you verse a storm boss, then in your myth, then you'll get a lot of damage on him. So myth, if you don't have any other friends who play this game, myth could be a very real option for you. Now, when you use myth, you have certain things like minions that you can spawn and you can cast, depending on how many pips you have. So that means you can have someone else who's battling with you, so you don't have to verse them yourself. Now, myth is also not very strong, but they have quite a lot of health. Not as much as life though. Life has the most health and Storm has the least. But myth spells are also very spells that will do a bit of damage to get rid of the shields, and then a lot of damage once your shields are gone. So they're sort of more tactical spells. So then we've got life. Life is the weakest school, but they have the most health. Why I say weakest is because they do have a 90% hit rate on all their spells, and also they don't have much attack damage. Like they'll have probably 20% less, 30% less attack damage than a storm spell will do. But life spells are all about healing and stuff. So they're all about healing. So if you play with a friend, you might want to be life because you can heal him and he can do the damage or whatever. Okay, but if you want to go life and then get a storm necklace, so you can use and have storm as your second skill, that could be quite OP. I don't think I've ever tried that. I might try that in the walkthrough, never know. Then we have fire. Now, fire is the opposite of ice. I forgot to mention that life is the opposite of death. Fire is quite a strong school, not as strong as Storm, but the second strongest school. So they have 75% hit damage, hit rate on their cards, and they're very strong, but not as strong as Storm. They have quite a bit of health, not much health though compared to like life or ice. But one special Storm sort of specialty is they have spells that do damage over time, like Fire Elf or Dragon, things like that, where when you damage someone and then you'll damage them the next round, so it's hard for them to shield up and just stop the one sort of attack. So fire is pretty good. I don't think I've ever had a high rated fire character, so I can't give you much of an opinion on it. I have some friends who use fire who say it's a pretty good school. So now ice, which is I have the most knowledge on. So ice spells don't do a whole lot of damage, but they have an 85% hit rate. As an ice character, you'll have a lot of lives. I think I have 3,500 base lives as my level 70 ice character. Plus, I have gear that gives me 4,300 health for my character. So that's a lot of health compared to some bosses don't even have that much in up to like level 40 or 45. So life is all about using shields. Now at level 16, I want to say you get a tower shield, which is possibly the best. Not possibly, it is pretty much the best shield in the game, apart from 90% shields. So pretty much what tower shield does is any spell of any type that is casted against you to cause damage, that spell will get reduced by half, unless it's an overtime spell, or if they're a myth and they use something like I forget what it's called, the wolf one, or if they use like a wolf, it does damage to get rid of your shield and then it'll damage you. But ice is very good at shielding. You get a lot of different types of shields and blades and stuff. That's one thing I forgot to mention. Say with ice you get a 40% blade, whether with storm you only get a plus 30% blade, and so it makes ice spells a bit stronger if you want to use the time to blade up. And then we got balance. Balance is a bit of a different school. As you can see, ice and fire go together, life and death go together, storm and myth. But then there's balance. Balance is sort of by itself. As a balanced character, you don't really get much of a storyline until you get to Crocotopia, or you find the balanced school. But balance is all about blading and using prisms and stuff to get spells to be higher. So blading's a lot of a supportive role. So say you're playing with a friend and you're balanced, and you can use blades to make their things stronger and stuff. But anyway, that's balance. And then the last one, which is death. Death is sort of like life and storm combined, but not really in a sense. So say storm has the Storm's level 42 spell does 700 damage, right? And that is a lot of damage. But then with Death, they do 500 damage, which you're like, oh, that's not much comparison. But also what happens is, so that it's called Wraith, it does 500 damage, but it gives you half of whatever it deals back to you. So you get healed as well as damaging the other player at the same time. So Death is a pretty good school. I know a lot of people with high rated Death characters, but I have never really used it. I only have like a level 20 Death character. He's not that good. So there will be a cutscene to me showing you all the spells up to level 42 in each school. Okay, so this is the Storm spells, and there's Maelstrom, who is the headmaster of Storm, or the professor of Storm. He is a frog. So these are spells. As you can see, where it says 70% in the circle, that's their hit rate, so it's pretty much 7 out of 10 times your spell will work. I'm not sure if that's actually the odds, but it tends to be the odds. If you'll fizzle a lot if you have a Storm character, because I have like a level 35 or so, he fizzles quite a lot. So then as you can see here, they do quite a lot of damage. Like there's Kraken does a lot of damage just for a level 22 spell, and Storm Trap only does plus 25% as well, as some schools have 30%. And then you have Storm's Yell here, which can do up to 730. There are obviously other spells once you reach 42, and then it goes 48, 58, 68, 78, 88, and then 100. You have different leveled spells that give you a certain amount of like the different spells after that. And I know there are some very OP spells after you grade, sort of like once you get to those levels in Storm. So now I'll take you to the fire, which is just here. Oh, no, this is ice, sorry. I thought it was fire first, but it's actually ice. So this is the school that my guy learns from. So yeah, I can't actually get the spells here, but I'll show my spell deck. These are just the ice spells that I use. So let me go just onto ice. So these are some of the ice spells that I have. Like Ice Armor is very overpowered, because per pip you absorb 125. So say you had 10 pips, then that's 1,125 damage that would be blocked. This is Tower Shield, which I use a lot of, as you can see. It's a very OP spell that you should use. And a lot of Storm spells, what they do after they attack, they tend to do a stun. Like here, stuns all enemies after attack. Obviously it doesn't do much damage, but then it stuns them. This one taunts them, this one stuns them. And there are some other spells after that. So now we'll venture off to the fire school. Alright, I've actually learned all the fire spells on this character as well, I just realized. So this is the second school I chose. So here, there's plus over time. As you can see, it's only a 75% chance of hitting. And I don't actually use fire spells anymore, because I'm past the level of it. But there, you can does quite a lot of damage, but it doesn't do quite as much as Storm. But you'll have more health than Storm will. So yeah, that's all the fire spells. Now, I think it's Myth or Death is the next one. Yeah, it's Death. So, I haven't learned any of these. So what happens is you have these Death spells, and as you can see, example with Vampire, it does 350 attack, but then it gives half of it to you. There's a Death School which you'll find in Wizard City, which is part of a quest. I'm not going to go there because it's going to take too long, but most of the spells are like that. They do damage and then you get half. And I know that the Death spell for level 100 is very OP. One of my friends was using it when he was playing with me. So then we've got Myth. So as you can see, Myth has got a 80% hit rate, and their spells don't do a lot, but they do a bit. As you can see here, like Minotaur, for example, it does 50 damage to get rid of the shields, and then 445 damage to just like finish them off after the shields. And Earthquake is also quite annoying because it goes to all enemies, plus it removes every shield and blade and stuff you have. So if they're trying to blade up, if you're like in PvP and or something, and they're trying to blade up against you, or even if you're just out there and they're trying to blade up against you, then you can use that and it will destroy their blades. So here's the life score. As you can see, first thing you'll probably notice is 90%, like 9 out of 10 times you'll hit. And so these are some spells. You'll notice that they're not as powerful as the other ones, but say this is already a healing spell, level 10, already heals you. This one's quite overpowered because you absorb 500 attack, and it only costs 3 pips. This one is one of the attacks. This one is a very known spell, Satyr. Gives you 860 health for only 4 pips, which is very good, very generous. And then there's Centaur, which is an okay spell, and then Sanctuary, which gives plus 50% to all your spells. So now the last one, which is the Balance School, which I won't actually go to. I will just show you the one on Wizard City because it's in Crocotopia, the actual school, and it's going to take me too long to get there. This video is already going longer than I assumed. So yeah, this is that. Okay, let me go into my spelling deck. So here's some of the balance spells I have. I use these two quite a lot because this gives you to all the elements, and so you'll learn a lot of balance spells that are not part of the main quest. As you can see, it doesn't actually do a lot of damage to the main balance spells. There are some spells on the non-balance question stuff which will do damage to, like, storm damage, fire damage, and ice damage. So it doesn't matter what like school they are and stuff. It will do damage to all. So this is all for now. I hope you now have a better idea on which school to choose, and I hope you choose the right one for you. Obviously, don't just go with Storm because it does the most damage, because you will die a lot and will get very frustrating. But then don't just go with Life because you have the most health, because it will take a long time. So try to find like what school you like. Maybe try because Wizard City is free, you don't need a membership for it. So maybe just go through Wizard City with each of the schools, and whichever one you like most, then get a membership and then continue. So I'll have a walkthrough of this game, Wizard101, coming out soon. You know, just subscribe, leave a like, and if you want me to choose a special school for my walkthrough, put it in the comments below. And if you want to try out the game, there will be a link for that in the description. So yeah, anyway, it's been Cryptic. I'm out. See ya.